Video for the research project for our fall semester. So let's take a look. We just completed a few upgrades here, and now we're going to move into this next section leading into our thesis. So once called soft skills, these attributes are all about communication, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and leadership. Okay, again, this you can see that we have a list here talking about some of these human skills, or they were traditionally called soft skills, but I think that terminology maybe has a bit of a negative implication to it. So I actually like to call them durable skills. Durable and transferable employment skills is kind of the term I've been using in my research project as I develop it. Notice in our list we have a comma between the second to last and last item. Onwards. In most cases, these skills, these AI cannot replicate, because generative AI is just that, artificial. Okay, so you'll notice that we've got skills here. Again, we've got skills here. So one thing you can do is you can go to dictionary.com and you can actually toggle between the main site, which is the definition site, and the thesaurus, which gives us near affiliate words or synonyms. So we've got a bunch here for skill. We've got accomplishment, competency, experience, expertise, proficiency, prowess, right? So these are all excellent. Aptitude's another good one. Deftness, facility, handiness. So there's lots of different words that we can actually plug in. Okay, so we'll say these. Good. All right, so now on to the thesis, which we've already kind of looked at in video 1. But you'll also note that the word length of my introduction is just over 200 words. So we're meeting our word requirements. We might even need to look at trimming down some of these ideas, but it's always easier to edit things out than it is to kind of add in filler. So I'm pleased with where it is right now. Since AI-driven writing tools have been demonstrated to decelerate cognition, students and teachers should continue to develop and sharpen learned critical thinking. So there's skills again. So let's go refer back to our thesaurus. Let's use competencies as another alternative here. Moreover, bulletproofing human-centered skills will be practiced, tracked, analyzed, and upgraded through a traditional IMRAD research paper platform. Methods and measures, reading and research, analysis, and discussion. Notice again, we've got our Oxford comma between the two final items of the list. Okay, so we've gone through and we've edited our introduction, so we're off to a very solid start. So now we'll notice, just like with our introduction, we've got our title set up, methods, idea development, reading practices, and well-rounded analysis of the data. So again, you can see I've built my methods paragraph. So let's take a look at this methods paragraph. We will read through and we'll see if anything needs to be upgraded. And this should give you an idea as to what we're looking for from you in your draft as well. So I'm going to go ahead and double space it again, remembering that we can do that with our little drop-down menu here. And then also to indent it, we push tab. So we want it to look consistent, right, within our draft. We want the fonts to be right. So again, yeah, that's the next thing to remember. This needs to be put at the correct size of font, which will be, just grab the whole paragraph there, which will be 14. So there we go, we're good. Okay, let's read through and edit the methods paragraph. So I wrote this earlier today based on, again, the data that I'd pulled out of my brainstorming template. So I always do this, is that when I'm setting up my next section, so I'll even set this up here for findings, I just go to insert and I put a box from the table insert tool on Word. And this is where I'll go back to my template and I'll pull out any of that supporting data. You can see I've actually already done that for my analysis, which will show that well-rounded perspective. It'll actually start by looking at the counterposition. Notice I haven't done the writing yet. That's for tomorrow. So I've got that set up for my writing period, my writing session tomorrow, and then I'll create a video from that tomorrow and post it. All right, so let's go through and edit the methods paragraph. So again, it's based on my brainstorming out of the template, which I just copied and pasted, and then I use that to guide my writing process. Okay, this project is essentially an opportunity to begin developing human-centered skills. So I'll just highlight that in yellow. This is my first run through. We might want to put, maybe we'd put expertise as an option. And so this is another way you could put a word in here. For before your final draft, you'll select whichever one you think is going to best suit. But again, we had expertise, we had attribute, we had competencies. So there's lots of different synonyms that could plug in there that are durable and transferable. Initially, a brainstorm method of free writing was utilized, where the researcher invested time thinking about the topic and recorded existing knowledge. As we've already learned in this class, governmental sources, both on the provincial and federal levels, predict that two interrelated relevant truths. Predict two interrelated relevant truths, colon. So now I'm going to list the two truths. Higher education will continue to be necessary for future employees to successfully enter the workforce. And notice when we only have two items in a list, the word and is strong enough to link those two items. You don't need a comma because it's a list. It's not a complete clause. And AI tools will become more integrated in most roles. So you'll note here that I have put a place marker for these resources. Now, these are the resources we learned way back at the beginning of the class. And this is just a reminder that if they are viable, you can use any of the articles that I've already uploaded to support the development of your ideas. This kind of is a way of shortcutting your research time and your reading time, because in theory, we've already read those sources. And if they're applicable, they can be deployed. So I've got the work BC. Now I'll have to go back and review that. And again, there was the federal report on how AI is going to impact employability. Now, I remember the report is relevant, and I know we've got the authors' names, but I was writing, so I wanted to keep writing smoothly. I wanted to write forward through my paragraph, so I've just put these in here as a placeholder. Now, please note how I've joined these two non-integral sources. If you have two sources that support your same idea, you can use a semicolon to separate your sources. So I'll just highlight this in green. It needs to be reviewed. It's a citation piece, and I will. By the time I complete my final draft, which should be this weekend, I'll be uploading my final draft that you guys can check and see and help yourselves build your own work. All of this will be polished and developed. But again, writing takes sessional commitment. It takes time. It takes energy. It takes soak time, even away from the work. Okay, we push on. Additionally, the Workplace BC website also asserted that skills, okay, so there's that word again. So you can see I'm really going to have to utilize my synonyms here. Prowess, readiness, savvy, techniques. Okay, good, we'll use that one here. And so I'll just, again, for now, I'll just put it in this little square bracket beside the word that I might choose to swap it out for. I could even highlight these in yellow to show that they're my potential upgrades. Okay, aligning with communication, teamwork, and creative thinking will be sought after as AI use ramps up. So that's also from the Workplace BC website. And so you might want to see me put in the date here, and then I'm going to go back and review the source, and I'll grab the actual paragraph number because it is a web document, and I'll plug that in there. Thus, this research project will utilize both primary and secondary research to chart a path forwards. How can students both develop their human-focused skills and learn to incorporate AI modalities towards future employability? A systematic approach will be utilized to find, consume, and implement academically sourced data. The reading method will be okay. No, there are two of them proposed here. The reading methods will be Beckwith and Clear Notes together. Big ideas, evidence and experts, questions, insights, and gaps will be considered and then gathered by paraphrasing notes. Thus, let's switch it because we've used thus above, so we'll switch it to therefore. Therefore, reading and note making will be utilized to garner existing knowledge on the topic. This represents the secondary research method. In the primary sector, a novel analysis method of try to be smart will be utilized. So this is the little tool that I innovated myself when I was thinking about how I could try to practice and track and build my own communication skills, which I actually then did. I employed my technique at my staff meeting, and I'm going to use that as part of my findings paragraph. Because government sources and employers both highlight that human, so again here, this one's yellow, skills, and we'll go with competencies. Okay, we'll highlight that. So this is our editing process, right? As we go, we're trying to remove repetitive language. We're seeking synonyms. We're reading out loud. These are all of our success strategies for editing. Will become even more important for future workers. Active listening, seeking to collaborate, and critical thinking aimed at problem solving will be developed through a primary research approach. The durable skills, listening, teamwork, and collaboration, will be tracked, reflected upon, and improved. So that's where that try, from the try to be smart, comes up. Let's see, where are we? Will be targeted using SMART goals as a productive analysis method for growth. As Dweck, 2017, clearly stated through her research that learners who recognize their learning is a process and that skills develop through time, efforts, and ameliorative strategies. Thus, okay, this is a little bit repetitive as well. So skills will go with, let's go back and check again. We'll use prowess here because we haven't used that one yet. Thus, learners so if you've noticed you're using starter E a whole bunch, you can switch it up and use one of our other starter formulas, because all of those sentence starters actually, they can replace each other smoothly, and their whole point is to guide the connection between the sentences, so they're cohesive writing tools. And I'll just highlight the whole thing in blue so it just kind of stands out. Good. To crystallize the preparation method, learners who believe they can grow their skills and who lean into the challenge of learning these new skills. So again, we got, right, you can see obviously it was a draft, right? And so when you're drafting, it's okay to have repetition, but then it's your responsibility to go back and do your best to try to upgrade by adding synonyms. Okay, aptitude, facility, skillfulness, competence, right? Expertise, experience, good, accomplishment, readiness. Okay, good, we got some good ones here. And that's why I'm putting them in these square brackets, because I'll want to have another read through and go back and double check that I haven't, again, overused the synonyms that I target.